Hello, friends.
Hello.
Sterling and I are making a quick video before we get interrupted by the kids. We're just wanting to share something that I think you were saying that you heard. It's something I felt God speak to me today, and when I shared it with Sterling, it was something that he had heard earlier this week as well. But it's about prayer and kind of how we tend to do things or are accustomed to praying for our friends or family or neighbors. We have some friends that have family in Puerto Rico, as we do as well, that we're not able to be in touch with at the moment. Well, this couple's not able to be in touch with. She's not able to be in touch with her parents, so they're going to Puerto Rico to try to check on the parents after this terrible hurricane Maria that struck Puerto Rico. And anyway, I was talking to her earlier today, and she was telling me about all the things that they kind of need prayer for and all that's going on, and give me the specifics on that. And I was thinking to myself, well, I told her at the time, well, okay, well, we'll definitely be praying for you. And then kind of ended the conversation and went about my business. And I was convicted years ago on actually when you get a prayer request like that, whether it be through social media or text or email, to either stop what I'm doing or even as I go about my day to make sure I actually do pray for these people, so I don't tell you I'm praying for you and not. But God kind of spoke to me today and was showing me that, we've become so accustomed with just maybe sending that prayer emoji back to someone who's requesting prayer, or even just writing the word praying for you, or even telling them over the phone, yeah, I'll pray for you. But I felt like today with these friends in particular, I told Sterling, I feel like we just need to, before they leave to Puerto Rico, go to their house. You are Spider-Man. We need to go to their house and lay hands on them and hug them and just pray with them and pray for them, and because that's just the best way to do it. And I was just thinking about Sterling. When he goes to work, he prays with the majority of his patients. And oftentimes, there are people that are uncomfortable with the idea of you praying for them. And they may not even really know that they want the prayer and may just accept it anyway to not be rude. And then Sterling ends up praying with these folks, and some are moved to tears, and it just does something within them, whether it be their heart is softened or they just feel the warmth and the presence of God. And that comes with you taking that time to be there and physically, putting your hands on someone and praying with them and touching them, and then just, or basically bringing the presence of God with you and praying for people. And so I think we're so accustomed, just thinking today how accustomed we are to, like I was saying, the prayer emojis or just texting it back. And even if we're faithful to do it and pray for these folks, I think it's not how God intended us to kind of pray for each other or with each other. Basically, it's kind of like friendships now. We feel like we have these tight friendships because we see each other every day on Facebook, or we stay connected through that kind of, through other social media. And so we have this false sense of being connected with people. And so that's it. I just felt like I needed to encourage myself and others to just, if you get a prayer request from a friend or a family member or a neighbor, and they're close enough that you can drive over to be with them and pray with them, that's what you need to do, because you were saying earlier, we are the temple of the living God. And so you bring God with you wherever you go, and to bring that presence into a situation or into someone's home when you go and you pray with them, how much more special is that than just sending that little prayer emoji or that text back saying, yeah, I'm praying for you, or even saying on the phone, I'm praying for you, and hanging up. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. Anything else you want to say, hon?
I think that's good. One thing that came to my mind when you were talking was, love. Our love can go cold for one another as a result. There's less affection. There's less that we do as a result of the lack of love. And we can think that it can be replaced with these subtleties, these little things that we say that we'll do, but there's no proof in the action. It's not measurable. It's not tangible. Life isn't necessarily impacted by it. And so the presence of someone in your midst can do a whole lot more than just say passing words, And even if you didn't have a lot to say, but the kind of drive that inspired this message was that we are a temple of the living God, and when we move into a situation, we're believing that God's going to do something beyond what we can't do, or beyond what we can't say. And oftentimes we'll go to the situation, I don't know, and we even begin to even open our mouth sometimes, not knowing what we're going to say, and things come out because God in us wants to impact that person. And even if you didn't have any words, and you didn't have the faith to just take the step, but you just knew you were just supposed to be there, those kind of things they move mountains. They impact people that you took the time, you inconvenienced yourself, you drove, you could have been anywhere else doing anything. But that wasn't enough for you. You wanted to come in and be here. And so those kind of connections spark their connections, I think, where God moves through us and impacts another person, which lifts them up, and they in turn make different decisions. They do different things because they've been lifted up. They've been inspired. We have that power in us to inspire one another, to lift one another, to change the direction, to the trajectory, if we would only believe and be moved in love. And so as blessing as these things are, they can also serve to disconnect. They connect us in some fashion, but in another way they disconnect us from the things that are actually in front of us. In the name of reaching those that are further away from us, they disconnect us from what's right in our faces.
Right. Definitely.
So be connected, realize what's in front of you, impact those. Don't just send them a text, but go to them physically, touch them, handle them, encourage them with words of wisdom, even if it's just your presence in their midst.
Yeah.
And watch God do awesome things beyond you could think, hope, or comprehend.
And that's what being the church is, right?
Exactly. Being his body. He lives his life through us. Thanks for listening. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.